My name's Robert Kelsey and I'm the author of What's Stopping You, a book on understanding our fears and insecurities and what may be stopping smart people from reaching their potential. My key message is that we first need to understand what has happened to us and why. We then need to accept who we are, and then we can use that self-knowledge to make progress, to get beyond the barriers that are stopping our progress. But how can we sustain this, making sure that the benefits that we experience when we first set out on this journey stay with us, that don't dissipate over time? How can we make sure that the small building blocks of progress that we put in place stay there and help us move forward? In fact, this is easier than we think, and it's my single most important recommendation in the entire book, and that is that we keep a diary. In fact, I'm not alone here. Virtually every self-help writer ever states that we should keep a journal or a diary that records our progress. A diary not only helps us record our progress, but it's the one document that makes us realize that we are actually making progress in our lives. But what should we put in our diary? Well, here's what I put in mine. First, I put my moods in. Whether it's feelings of frustration or depression or hurt or even elation, I record them all down. But what's important is that actually we record them as we feel at the time. So if we're really angry, that anger goes down in the diary. But we should leave a space afterwards so that with reflection, we might want to put another comment that's perhaps a bit more rational about why we felt so angry or we lost our temper or we felt so depressed. This means that we can use the diary as an evaluation tool, as saying, well, why did we have a temper tantrum? Why were we so depressed? What was the reason for that? And what can we learn from that? Second, we should record any obstacles to our progress, those barriers that we're constantly coming across. We should write them down, and then we can start thinking about how we get round them. We can evaluate the problem and then also perhaps evaluate the potential solution. The third thing we should record are our goals. I don't mean the big stuff like I want to become a lawyer. I mean the small stuff, the daily stuff. Each day we will have things we need to achieve. The diary is the place to record those things and also record how we got on with those goals. What was the result? Was it a good result? Great. What's next? Was it a bad result? Well, that's a shame. What's next? What do we learn from the bad result? So all the goals need to go down on a daily basis in the diary. A key thing about making progress is realizing that it's based on very small victories. Each day we'll have building blocks that build our progress, and we need to record that, and the diary is the place to record that progress. Another thing I record in my diary is controlling displacement activity, whether it's drinking too much or eating the wrong foods, surfing the internet, watching TV, or doing other things that are just simply a waste of time or bad for me. I need to be able to control that activity. So I put that in my diary and put progress towards controlling it in my diary as well. Another thing I put in my diary is self-admonishments. In fact, anyone reading my diary would be amazed on how hard I am on myself. But that's the point. Insecure people are always really tough on themselves. What they need is somewhere where they can record them beating themselves up, but also work out how to do it constructively so that they learn lessons, so that they move forward. So therefore, we also need to record the triumphs when we get things right. Write it down. As I say, progress is based on tiny victories, those victory by victory building blocks. That's what makes our progress, and they need to be written down. So every time something good happens, every tiny little victory, that needs to go in the diary on a daily basis. And then finally, what I put in my diary is just my experiences. I love rereading my diary for perhaps my wedding day or the day my first son was born. I just love it. It just tells me that I'm making progress in my life. I have to say that the point at which I started writing the diary until now, about 10 years ago, probably the best 10 years of my life. And my diary helped me not only record that, but actually realize that these were the 10 best years of my life. One last thing about the diary. Write it with pen and paper in a book. Electronic folders get lost or forgotten or get accessed by other people. As I write in What's Stopping You, people with fear of failure and other insecurities, they need a map. Well, this is your map. Your diary is something you can grasp as you cut through the jungle and make progress in your life.